Hey everybody, AZ 80's Girl here with you, and today, if you couldn't tell what we're going to do finally, we're going to go over my collection of Rainbow Brite dolls. Now, along with She-Ra and Gem, I would say my third favorite collection from the 80s is my Rainbow Brite collection. I did not have, these are all newly bought off of eBay or found over the last several years, but nothing is from my original childhood, unfortunately. Again, I mentioned this before, those being from Michigan, or that's where I grew up, my basement was just gross. So the bins of toys that I had were just destroyed by mold and stuff like that. So I had to destroy those dolls. So these are all fresh. So we're going to go over what I have here. It's going to be a two-parter because I have a lot of stuff. I don't have everything. And then the second part will be more into the recent stuff from Hallmark, other different dolls that came out of Rainbow Brite, and then I can kind of show some comparisons of what, you know, throughout the Rainbow Brite, through her stages of life there. So anyway, I'm not going to go into details so much about Rainbow Brite. I mean, you can look that up yourself. I know there's another YouTuber out there that is huge, rainbowbrite.net, I think. So you can check her out as well. I'm just showing you mine. And I know they came out in 1983, again, from Hallmark. And they had about 13 episodes of the cartoons. I'm about to purchase, I just saw on my Instagram that they are going to release all 13 episodes on DVD again pretty soon here. So I'm going to purchase that myself and start watching them again. I don't remember everything. And then there was also a movie that came out as well. So I'm not going to go into it. Like I said, all I know is that her original name was Wisp, that I did look up. And sorry, I haven't been refreshed on it. But this is Rainbow Brite is the main character in that story. So she was to rescue the 7 color kids, which these are all the smaller versions I have here. So I'm going to move some things around so I can show you everything. But initially, this was the main doll that came out. And it's a huge doll. This doll... And there's Starlight the Horse. So this is a big one, okay? So I'm just going to show you this one first and move on to the small one. So this was Rainbow Brite. They came in a huge box that you could see, see her through the front, and then she did come with a comb. Her dress does come off. She's got a hard plastic face. I think she's missing her bow. But it's yarn hair, so it's definitely yarn hair. Good luck combing that. I mean, that's probably not the best thing. So a lot of these I've seen you can get. They do have marks on the face or the clothes, etc., like that. So there was not all the color kids came this large. So Rainbow Brite was one. I have Patio Green here. So Patty was a big one as well. Here, I'm gonna grab her here. So there's Patio Green. She's got the pigtails like Pippi Longstocking, if you guys remember her. And then there was I did see Shy Violets, which I don't have. I have the smaller version of her, Shy Violets. And then there's the baby, which here's Baby Sprite. So the Baby Sprite came, I have the bottle with it. I just can't reach it right now. So this is Baby Sprite. I'm sorry, Baby Brite, not Baby Sprite, Baby Brite. So there's the baby, okay? So I'm going to set her down, set those down. Okay, so we're going to get into my smaller ones. And then I'll get into the animals that they came with as well. Okay. So these are all the color kids, and then what they added on, an additional, when they released other dolls, they added a few as usual to, to make it more that you could buy, of course. So I will go into the color kids here. Okay, so let's get them all out of the way. And here's Twink, her little Sprite. Okay, so Twink was the only white Sprite. The other sprites were all different other colors, and they all actually in the sky, they mined for jewels, mined for crystals, and the crystals were supposed to make the world a brighter place. And she had the color belt. That's what she wears, is her color belt to make things different colors and happy and bright. So it's a huge following after Rainbow Brite because she's a very positive person, a positive role model. You want to have, kids watching stuff like that. I mean, it's a happy show. And then she was friends with Brian, who lived on Earth, and so Brian would reappear a few times on the show as well. Of course, we'll get into the bad guys as well. I have 2 of those. I think they only made the 2, and I'll get to them in a second. Okay, so those smaller versions of these still had the hard plastic faces and then just the cloth bodies. The small ones I had did come with a little Sprite. It was Velcro to their hands, so each of them had a Sprite. So here's Rainbow Brite with her Sprite Twink. And I used these, the 12-inch, was it the 12-inch? Yeah. The 12-inch stands I've been using for my gem dolls, I actually just use them for Rainbow Brite as well. I put them in my case, and it seems to work well. The waist just seemed too big, so I ended up putting it right here beneath, right at their neck. And they kind of just hang out like that. So there was one of the Rainbow Brites. There's different sets that came out. She came with the horse, Starlight the horse. She came with the sleeping pajamas and stuff like that. And I actually found these. These are little slippers that came with that pajama set, which I don't have the rest of the set. It was like a sleeping mask and like a bag, a sleeping bag. So this is Rainbow Brite and Twink. Same type of thing as her larger version of the doll, okay? So that's her. We do have Buddy Blue here. So Buddy Blue's here, right here with the, in blue, go figure, with Champ. And for a little bit there, he was a rare one to find. So he still may be, Champ may be hard to find. I did find him, and it's hard to also find the headband that goes on Buddy Blue. Just like the headband that goes on Bo with She-Ra's, these little things are just so easy to miss and take off. It's not attached to his head. So, and there's his Sprite, Champ. I'm going to set him aside. So much to go over. So, this is Shy Violet. So, Shy Violet, again, is the purple one. They all have, you know, different colors, and they all are in charge of different parts of, you know, the land and what they are in charge of, kind of thing. So, the Shy Violet, and she comes with her little Sprite's IQ. Okay. This is Lala Orange. And Lala Orange has a little outfit here. Her hat does come off pretty easily, so, you know, after a while you have to safety pin them on there. It just loses its elasticity, so her hat's about to fall off. So Lala Orange came with OJ Sprite. Go figure, Orange and OJ. So OJ Sprite. And then this is Patio Green, the small version. So Patio Green, and she, of course, is with Lucky. Here's Lucky. He's kind of upside down. But again, these are all Velcroed. Has attached Velcro to their hand, and you can attach the Sprite's hand to them. And they do have a snap to the dresses, so they are able to come off. So there she is. Okay. Then we're going to get to Canary Yellow. I was always confused, not watching the show, if this was a boy or a girl. I should know better than that, but it is a girl. She is wearing, yes, leg warmers, so let's bring that back. Canary Yellow, and she's with Spark as her Sprite. Her hair's nuts. Crazy right now. Everybody, again, has yarn hair, so it's just a yarn hair, and they have like a soft body, polyester almost body. Then we have Red Butler and Romeo Sprite. And Red Butler has a little cape, and then there's Romeo attached to his. So there's what, just 2 boys, and the rest were girls, 2 boys. And then here is Indigo. So there's Indigo, and she's with Hammy. So Hammy Sprite, okay? She's got pigtails, little slippers, and those are attached, so that's lucky, because you'd easily lose those. So there she is, okay? So as I went into the other line, new ones came out, and this was like the dress-up line. They did dress-up Rainbow Brite here. So she came with an extra, like, I don't know what you want to say, just extra pieces for her hair to look different colors, like she's punked out. I kind of like it. And she came with a comb, and that's her outfit. So, and she came with different color boots. The difference with these is they have like cloth, more cloth legs. Oh no, I guess they all do. But they're not as covered. I'm not saying the legs, but the boots actually come off. So you will see the feet of these. That's what I mean. So the other ones are just attached or socks, and that is part of their leg. So those outfits of their legs and feet do not come off. That is that. So this actually comes off, and then she has a red piece underneath that comes off as well, and that is Rainbow Brite dress up Sprite. And this is Tickled Pink. And Tickled Pink had, you know, they always came with combs, so I actually have her comb. So Tickled Pink here, okay. And they did not make the horses for these dolls back then. The ones I have seen are like the, they were larger horses. I don't have, and I'll show you a magazine here. So, and a catalog I have from the 80s. I do show some of those. I don't have a Moonglow, which obviously they were never produced. One happens to be out there. Somebody has one, I guess. But that was a prototype that was never produced. It might have been the prototype that was found. So they have a lot of people making custom Moonglows out there. So those are pretty good idea, you know, to find. Not Moonglows, I'm saying Stormy dolls. I'm sorry, Stormy dolls. But this is Moonglow here. They did say that she was only found in Germany, but I mean, I found this one. Looks good enough for me. I'm pretty sure she's an original Moonglow. And then again, I don't have a Stormy doll, so Stormy. I will show you real quick in the magazine. The catalog I have is a 1986 Mattel catalog. And I have it marked here. So 1986, okay, so they were already out and introduced. So they just introduced the new dolls here. So here is where they introduced Tickled Pink, Dress Up, Rainbow Brite, Stormy, and Moonglow, okay? So Moonglow, Dress Up Stormy, Dress Up Tickled Pink, Dress Up Rainbow Brite. So they called them all the dress ups. That's why they had so many of the clothes that could take off and the boots that could be taken off and such and then put back on. They had a lot of the dress-up fashions down below here that I think I read those weren't produced either. If you see those, I could be wrong. So don't take me as I know everything. Oh, there they go. Dominoes. And then, so they did make a Starlight and a Sunriser. And I have seen maybe on eBay a couple. So it's like a flicked version of the soft cloth Starlight. And then there's Sunriser there. And they're like, in the box, I saw them on eBay for like $1,000 each. So it's pretty crazy to find. And then they made different things for Baby Brite. So I have Baby Brite with her bottle. And then they introduced Kitty and Puppy Sprite, which I will show you. And then a bunch of the Sprites. So I will show you here. They introduced a ton of Sprites. And all the baby Sprites came in a little container here. So these are rare to find. Not many of those were made, so when you do see these baby Sprites with cloth diapers, and if they usually will cost more because they're more rare to find, okay? So then they had all the other Sprites again, and then they actually made the Sailmobile and the Color Cottage. So there is the Sailmobile and the Color Cottage. I do have the Color Cottage. I'm not going to show you that because it's just too much time to take up for that. But I do have the Color Cottage as well. I'm missing like the dishes, the tiny little dishes and stuff like that. But it does fold up, so it's not huge. You can carry it. It's like a small little carry case. Okay? Okay, so going into the animals, I'm going to move these guys. Sorry. Okay. All right, so going into the animals, first of all, so there's Sprite. So here's Starlight. And when I had Starlight when I was little, I had Starlight and then I had the giant Rainbow Brite. And I'm like, she's way too huge for this thing. Like, it must be like her pony, not her horse. I mean, she could sit on it, but I feel bad for Starlight. So Starlight is a pretty small one. I have seen where, they can get darkened over time. His hoofs, these are all like soft felt type of things. So they can, wear over time. And then he has a star right here. So Starlight with a rainbow, different yarn hair. Then I just purchased Kitty Brite and Puppy Brite. Sprite. Sorry if I can confuse her. So there's Puppy Brite. He's all over there. And Kitty Brite is kind of hard to find. Not find, but she's out there. It's just they're a little more rare. So they do cost a little more than the other animals right now. So she's got a long striped tail. Very cute, sparkly little ears. So that's her. Okay. Okay. Sorry, we're kind of all over here. There's a lot that I have to show you here. So let me move a few more things and we'll continue. Okay. So a couple things I have. I found a bag over the years. It's a little bag here. So it's like a little overnight bag I found. That's an original. I just got the Shrinky Dinks of Shrinky Dinks of Rainbow Brite. So I'm interested, I'm excited to do that. So there's the Shrinky Dinks on the back. I do have a plate of her, and I have a book. There was a few golden books that were put out there. And I mean, there's a ton more things of Rainbow Brites that's out there. So, I mean, it's through Hallmark. So there's cards, there's books, there's coloring books, there's paper dolls and such like that. So one second here, let me grab a few more things. Here's the card and that. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. So they made a lot of large sprites, and then they made a lot of small sprites. So here was a smaller one of Twink with a little hat on. So they made a lot of different versions. When they released the dolls, they tried to do something different with the sprites. There's also smaller sprites I've seen that if you shake it and it jingles, or sounds like there's twinkle, twink, twink, twink. Those are actually from Taco Bell. So some of them actually have a tag that says Taco Bell. So that would have been really cool. I don't remember them ever passing out those when I was little, but yeah, Taco Bell actually made some sprites with Happy Meals or whatever their kids meals there. Found this the other day. It's one of the fabrics you can buy to make a Rainbow Brite pillow. So this was actually done up already for me, so thank God, because I don't sew. So this was Rainbow Brite, and then this was the vehicle. It's got the bottle for Baby Brite in it. So this is the bottle for Baby Brite. It's pretty much dried up of anything in there, so it's supposed to like show that there's something in there. I'm missing probably a few things to this, but I got this on a lot. It has this, it's missing the pole to have a little rainbow flag going through, but at least they have some type of safety. And then they have, you know, stickers all over here, so that's that. I don't have the Sailmobile, but I do have this one. And there's also, you know, other mobiles that the sprites could ride in as well. So the bad guys here, which I just loved, was Lurky and Murky Dismal. So Murky Dismal, of course, he wanted everything to be gray, black, just pretty much gray because he was a miserable person. He came with a little attachment here. I'm sure he's missing, I think he's missing a lightning bolt on his chest, or possibly on this as well. And then he had a bag attached, which I don't have the bag. It was just, I don't know. He always tried to steal the color kids so he can get rid of all the color in the world. And Lurky was just his helper, and he's just super big, fuzzy, super cute dude. He's got hard eyes, big old nose, awesome red shoes. He's just a big old fur ball. Love this guy. Wasn't a fan of this guy, but I love this guy. So, okay, so this is part one. Oh, actually, one more thing before I get into part two. So they did, again, released the little mini figurines of Rainbow Brite. So I have Rainbow Brite, I have Puppy Brite, I have Starlight, and I'm sorry, I have this one as well, another Sprite. Just ones I found at lots of things I've gotten, like the PVCs of like Smurfs and stuff like that. So I have a lot of these. I am interested in finding some more miniatures as well. I've seen ones that are like posables, kind of like the Cabbage Patch Kid posable ones. I've seen those, but those were only released overseas. So those are cool to find too. And before I leave you for this episode, I'm just going to show you a picture of myself when I was younger. Christmas, when I was opening up all my Rainbow Brite stuff. This was me opening up Lurky. And also had my Babyland General Cabbage Patch Kids set. If I can see it there. So that was me there. So stay tuned for the next episode, part 2 of this one, and I'll go over all the new release stuff, all the different comparisons of the Rainbow Brite that was just came out throughout the years to today. Okay?